Okay, back here with another video for Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So there's an update coming out for this game, I think on the 24th. So I wanted to go ahead and get out another one of my deck lists. This one being my favorite monsters, the Cyber Dragons. So this is the deck list for my Cyber Dragon deck. Let me run you through the ideas of this deck. So Ash Blossom is pretty much there just for the negate. It's just to have an extra negate. You can use Effect Veiler or you know, whatever you want to help negate stuff. But I'm use Ash Blossom. It just stops people from adding stuff from the deck to the hands, sending stuff from the deck to the graveyard, or special summoning straight from the deck. So it just helps with, you know, enemies trying to do stuff like that. On one of these Chaos Dragons, Livenier, because it's mostly light monsters, so you can use his effect. It might be possible for you to get a dark monster with the extra deck, so then it's possible that you can get the other effect as well for destroying 2 cards on the field. But there's a reason why he's in there. It's specifically to remove from play my monsters from my graveyard. Of course, you can't have a Cyber Dragon deck without Cyber Dragon. So yeah, I have 3 of those. And Cyber Dragon Core, which is almost the core of the deck. He just helps you get Cyber, spell, and trap cards from your deck. He helps out a lot, special summoning Cyber Dragons, you know, from the deck by banishing it from the graveyard. So if you just have bad times trying to find Cyber Dragon, you have him in the grave, banish him, boom, Cyber Dragon right there. Cyber Dragon Deary, I'm probably not even saying their names correctly. I don't like this card too much, but it does help you to get your level 5s and to turn your other monsters into level 5s so that you can XZ summon properly. Then we have hers. Hers is a weird one. He has 2 effects. I typically just use the secondary effect when this card is sent to the graveyard. Add another Cyber Dragon from the deck or graveyard to your hand. The other effect can be useful, but it's situational, where this card becomes a level 5 until the end of the turn if it's special summon. And also you can't special summon other monsters except for dragons, but this is machines, but this is a machine deck anyway, so it's a relevant side effect. Then you have Vire. This one, I'm on the fence about it. It's been kind of useful at times, and then sometimes it screws you up. But whenever you normal summon or special summon a Cyber Dragon, you can special summon this card in defense mode from your hand, and every Cyber Dragon you have gains 500 attack and defense. So it's just an easy way to get a secondary monster out on the field. That's pretty much what he's for. Of course, there are 3 of those in there. Probably something you probably wouldn't see is Eltanian, Cyber Eltanian. It cannot be normal summon and can only be special summoned from your hand by banishing all light monsters on the field and graveyard, light machine monsters, and it gains 500 attack for each one. Also, when it's special summon, you send all face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. I want it mainly because of that secondary effect. Now note that it says send all other face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. It doesn't destroy, so there are certain effects that might be negated if you try to target with destroy. It doesn't destroy the monsters, it just sends them from the field to the graveyard. So whatever monsters your opponent has on the field, if it has like an effect where it's like, oh, this monster can't be destroyed by card effects, well, this one doesn't destroy it, it literally just sends it to the graveyard. So having one of these as a trump card late in the game, like you have 9 monsters in the grave and they have 3 monsters on the field and you're just like, oh crap, I'm in trouble, boom. It's a pretty good comeback card, but you don't want to draw it earlier in the game. Then I have 2 Galaxy Soldiers. Now I had 3, but I feel like 2 works fine. Pretty much you're sending light monsters from the graveyard to special summon this card in defense mode. It's a level 5 machine monster. I think you kind of understand why he's in the deck. And then also when you special summon, you can add a Galaxy monster. So pretty much you're just going to add another Galaxy Soldier to your hand so that you can do it again that same turn and get 2 level 5s and Xyz summon or Link summon or whatever you want to do. Typically, if I use him, I want to try to send Hertz to the graveyard to trigger its effect. That way you can kind of get like a little combo going. But yeah, that's why he's in there. And this one is probably another one that you probably won't see a lot in Cyber Dragon decks. It's one of those crazy ass kaiju monsters. So this monster, you're typically not going to summon this on your side of the field. You're using it to get rid of one of the opponent's monsters and giving them this monster instead. And then you use this to summon from your extra deck this monster, pretty much. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. So as long as you have a Cyber Dragon, which most of these cards on the field are considered to be Cyber Dragon, so you have one of these Cyber Dragons, quote unquote Cyber Dragons, on the field, and then whatever big monster the opponent has, you tribute it, summon this, and then tribute them both to summon this. Now you've just gotten rid of your opponent's monster and gotten, you know, a stronger monster on the field. So that's kind of what he's in there for. It's kind of, you know, up to you if you feel like it's worth it. You could not use this and just run 3 of the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragons, because so many people are summoning from the extra deck. You're probably going to use this a lot. But I only use 2 and then 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Yeah, let's get into the extra deck. So finishing with the main deck, we have our spells now. You have Cyber Emergency, which adds a light monster that cannot be normal summon, or a Cyber Dragon monster, which is typically what you're going for, from your deck to your hand. It just allows you to just pull whatever you need, pretty much. So if you summon him, you normal summon him, you're going to go for one of these and then pull out something else that you might need, whatever you're looking for. Pretty self-explanatory. You have Cyber Repair Plant. You typically want to get 3 Cyber Dragons in the graveyard so you can use both effects. If you can't, if you don't have 3, you should pretty much be using the other effect to add a light machine monster from your deck to your hand, because it means you don't have enough monsters, you haven't drawn enough. So if you have 3, you're going to go for both, obviously. If you only have a choose from, you know, one of them, then you're going to go for the one to add light monsters from your deck to your hand. It might be a situation where you might want to do the other, but typically that's what you'll be going for. I only put 2 of those in here, just not enough room for 3. Then we have Cyber Reeve System. This one I'm also on the fence about. It has its situations. Pretty much you can special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. The secondary effect is kind of irrelevant. You're just using it to special summon Cyber Dragons from your hand or your graveyard. It's best to summon from the graveyard if possible and not be summoning from your hand, because you don't want to limit your hand. But there's 3 of those in there for that. Cyber Load Fusion. So this is pretty much how I'm getting my fusion out. And when you look at my fusion deck, there are not many fusions that actually require this card. A lot of fusions are fusion summoned in other ways, but there's two in here. Pretty much when you fusion summon, only that monster you control can attack for the rest of the turn. So be wary of that, and don't think you're going to fusion summon and then have monsters on the field and have them all attack. But yeah, you fusion summon from your extra deck using Cyber Dragon monsters and materials from your field or the monsters that are banished. So this directly is it's good for this card, because you're banishing 3 light monsters. So if you banish like 3 of your cyber dragons, and then you use cyber low fusion, and then boom, you can get your fusion out, which is the Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, which is your go-to OTK pretty much. Whenever you're looking to OTK, you're pretty much going to be doing it with this one monster. So yeah, that's what that's for. Then you have Foolish Burial to get cards from your deck to the graveyard. Obviously, mostly hurts. Instant Fusion. You pay 1,000 life points. Special summon 1 level 5 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck. It cannot attack, but it cannot be destroyed. Oh no, it is destroyed at the end of the battle phase or the end turn. So this is used for 2 things in this deck. I've used it for this. Millennium Eye Restrict, just so if you have somebody who has a really ridiculous effect monster on the field, you can just get it off the field. You're not going to be attacking anyways, you're just using to get rid of it off, just get it off the field. Like if you just bad hand, this is the only thing you have left, it's like a last resort type of thing. You typically want to go for the Panzer Dragon, because if you look, it's a level 5 light machine monster. So you kind of understand what that's for. But yeah, there's only one in the deck because I don't think you need more than one. No. Litter Removal is it's another one of your OTKs. Typically you want to use it only when you know that you're about to end the duel and they can't stop you. So then you limit a removal, or else you will be royally screwed the next turn. Another really good card that I think a lot of people overlook, Machine Duplication. Target 1 machine monster you control with 500 or less attack points. Special summon up to 2 monsters in deck with the same name face up. So you're using this for 2 monsters in here, which is Hertz and Core, because they're both under 500. And the thing about this is, because when they're on the field, they're considered to be cyber dragons, you summon 2 cyber dragons from your deck to the field. It's pretty silly. And because of that, you only have 3 cyber dragons in your deck. Because of that, I don't feel like you should ever run more than 1 of this. Like, I don't think you should ever run more than 1, because this could be a dead card in your hand if you've already gotten your cyber dragons out somehow. Monster Reborn, because for whatever reason it's not banned yet. Oh yeah, with the update, a lot of these cards might change because you're gonna have a new ban list, new semis, new limited cards. So a lot of these decks I'm gonna have to re-edit, which is why I'm trying to get these videos out now for the decks that I like before the update happens. 1 day apiece is just a general. If you just have a bad hand and you just need an extra turn to see if you can set up something, you run 1 day apiece. Typically you're gonna see a lot of these in my other decks. Monster Reborn, 1 day apiece. Upstart Garland. Upstart, of course, help you draw. 1 day apiece, help you draw, give you an extra turn to prepare. And Monster Reborn is just stupid. Then my only trap card in the deck, Cybernetic Overflow. So this card, banish cyber dragons of different levels from your hand, face up on the field or graveyard, and destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. You can destroy anything. So spell traps, monsters, field cards, pendulum monsters, all that stuff. If this card on the field is destroyed, add 1 cyber spell a trap card deck. Cyber spell a trap card from your deck to your hand. So if they destroy this, you can grab one of these other cyber spell a trap cards, typically spell cards. So it's just again to help me banish my monsters, so that I can use the cyber low fusion. Then if it gets destroyed, I can just draw it from my deck anyways. So yeah, it's really beneficial. but because it's so difficult to get your monsters to the graveyard, I only run of these. If we still had Future Fusion, Cyber Dragons would be broken if Future Fusion was still a thing, but it's not, so sadly. So the extra deck, run through the extra deck. I mean, we've already gone over some of these. You know why they're in there. You got your OTK, and don't forget his secondary effect. Once per turn, you send 2 light monsters from your deck, and if you do, he gains an additional attack for each one. So that's kind of how he works. So he's way better than Cyber Twin Dragon was, because pretty much you send 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and he's the 2 additional attacks. So then he can attack 3 times. You know why Millennium Eye Restrict is in there. You know why Panzer Dragon is there. These are your XZs Cyber Dragons. So of course you start off with Nova. I recommend never using his quick effect. Because of how this game works, as soon as you summon, it asks you, do you want to activate that effect? And I've screwed up and pressed yes, thinking that I was activating like some effect that was in my hand and was forced to use this ability. Please don't make that mistake. And whenever you summon this thing, just say no. Whatever happens, just no. And then with your secondary effect, the secondary effect is actually really good. You can remove 1 material from this card and special summon a Cyber Dragon from the grave. But you do not want to use his quick effect. But his other effect is great. And then you're just going to overlay into Infinity. And Infinity is your negator. He's your stopper. He's how you're going to stop a lot of what your opponent does. So he gains 200 attack for each material. He could target a face-up attack resistant monster and attach it to himself as a material. And once per turn, he can negate 1 effect. But he has to remove 1 of his materials. He negates and destroys the effect. So really good card. I run 2 of each. Sometimes when it comes to these decks, I wish the extra deck was bigger, but it is what it is. So 2 of each. You got your Boar Sword Dragon for, I mean, it's Boar Sword Dragon. You should know what this thing does. It's a really good Link monster. Then you have your actual Link Cyber Dragon. I love this stuff, man. Cyber Dragon love. Seagear, I think it's pronounced Seagear. So you need 2 machine monsters, including at least 1 Cyber Dragon. And this monster, his whole thing is his quick effect. You can target 1 machine monster you control with 2100 attack or more, and it gains 2100 attack. So he could target himself, he can target any other Cyber Dragon you have, or any machine monster that has 2100 attack or more. So he can also target Infinity, Nova, Rampage Dragon. As you can see where this is going. So you want him out before you summon any of these, and he can help you offensively and defensively, because it's a quick effect. He can activate it on his opponent's turn or on your turn. So that's typically how he's used. And then I have Link Karibo just in case I had, like, you know, a really bad hand and Hertz was the only thing I had on the field, and I just wanted to send him to the graveyard, Link summon, and then I can like tribute him, and you know, I won't die in that first turn. Hopefully. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh's crazy. It's still possible. Side deck, I mean, Cyber Valley, I used to love, but it's more super stally, so it slows down the deck. Back in the days, I used to play super stally. I had Wabakus, Swords of Villain Lights, Battle Faders. I was a scumbag, but I learned that you're pretty much just delaying the inevitable. So I focus more on OTKs. Effect Veiler, you have Ghost Orc and Snow Bunny. So this is if you want to substitute the other negate for this negate. But it's more for like spell and trap cards that are already face up on the field. So typically continue spell and traps. So it really depends on how your opponent plays. You want to sub this out with Ash Blossom. Yeah, duplicates, MST, because I mean, if you want to run MST, go for it. Overload fusion, power bond, which I love power bond, but I've lost so many duels using power bond that I just don't fool around with it anymore. Um, it'll get you killed more than it'll get you to win. Soul charge if you want to run that. Twin twisters if you really don't like spell and trap cards. Cyber network. I thought about putting this in my deck, and I just kind of have it in the extra deck just in case. It's really good, even though it's a continuous. Every turn, if a Cyber Dragon's on the field, you can banish one light machine monster from your deck. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, which means if it's destroyed or if it's just sent there by its own effect, you can special summon as many banished light machine monsters as possible. If you do, destroy all spell and trap cards you control. Monsters that were special summoned by this effect cannot activate their effects. You cannot conduct a battle phase the turn this effect is activated. So the drawbacks really stop me from putting this in here. Like, one, it's very obvious what you're trying to do, and your opponent's going to see it and easily stop you because it takes so many turns to kind of set up. But it is a way to get your monsters directly from your deck to pretty much being banished, so that you can set up for cyber load fusion, or whatever it is that you want to set up for. But all in all, I feel like it was too slow. It's just too slow to kind of put in there. But having an extra side deck just in case I find something or figure something out, I might throw this in there. And if I did, I would probably only use one. And then another mega fleet. You have the regular 1,000 Eyes Restrict, and then another decent link monster for destroying spell and trap cards. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. It's one of my favorite decks, Cyber Dragon deck. So yeah, that was the deck list. I'm now going to show you, because a lot of people in my last video wanted to see ranked matches, so I'll show you now how I do in ranked battles. Typically, this is the first time I've done ranked battles, so I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't really have any idea. So, I mean, here it is.